Hey guys, how's it going? It's Alien Waldo here. Welcome back to Screaming Alien Gaming. Glad you could join me. So today we're going to be playing some Astroneer. This is a fun little game. It's currently in game preview on the Windows Store, early access on Steam. Basically, it's just right now, very early stages, open world sandbox game where you go around collecting resources and build an awesome base and vehicles and things like that. And you can even take off into space and visit other planets in your solar system. So, as you can see, I already have quite a sprawling base put together here. I have, as far as I can tell, everything that you can build right now. You have a truck here with a train of other vehicles full of storage. So what we're actually going to be doing today is we're actually going to be leaving this planet and starting new on the moon. So we're actually going to be building ourselves a little moon base because we do have a moon orbiting this planet. And the moon is a barren planet at this point in time, at this stage in the game. And barren basically means there's almost nothing there. It looks like a moon would. You know, you think of our moon, that's pretty much what it looks like. But the good thing about it is it has some rare resources like lithium, which you need to make batteries, and titanium, which you need to make oxygen tanks. And I'm not exactly sure if there's anything else that uses titanium just yet, but it is a rare resource, so it's not extremely common to find. You can rarely find it on regular planets. Usually you have to go really, really deep. But you can find it on the surface of barren planets and radiated planets, from what I can tell. But anyways, the first thing we need to do is build ourselves a spaceship. So when you first get your vehicle bay, you have the option to build a Rover, which is that little one on the back of my train over there. And you can build a shuttle, which is just a small version of the spaceship. Then later on you can research the truck and the spaceship, which are just bigger versions, so you can carry more stuff. And they do, of course, take more resources to build those. It takes 4 copper to build this spaceship. So we're going to go ahead and print that with our 3D printer, our vehicle printer. And something we want to bring with us is a habitat. Now what a habitat does, that's this piece in the middle. That's where you start your base from. When you first start the game, you start with this, and then you build off of everything from there. So we're going to build a habitat over there. And that's something you have to find through research as well. And the habitat takes, I do believe, just 2 compound to make the habitat. It's pretty simple. As you can see, I've got lots of compound, tons of compound. I've got more compound than I know what to do with, so it's really good because I am going to need a decent amount anyways when I go off to this other planet. Turn my volume up here. So, what I was thinking as well is I want to put a storage on the spaceship, and then I'm pretty sure I can put the habitat on the storage. So what the storage does is it actually takes up, is it 2 or 4? Yeah, it takes up 4 spaces, but it adds 8 basically, so it just doubles the amount of spaces. And to do that, we are connected. Storage is what's chosen. Why isn't it working? Not sure why it's not working. Usually this thing... Oh, you know what? There's no power. That's right. There is, like I said, it's a really early stage in the game, and there are some small bugs that occur here and there. One bug that I've experienced with this base, it's not going to happen all the time. I've only ever experienced it once, and I've started several bases in different saves. But for some reason, this tether and this tether aren't working properly. So they're not actually saying that these 2 modules are connected to my main base, which means at night they don't draw power from my batteries. So I actually have to take the battery and put it on here myself, and then I've got to put the battery back so it'll charge in the daytime. But that's not the biggest issue, of course. It's still playable. It doesn't break the game or anything like that. It's just kind of inconvenient, but I understand, again, it's still very, very, very early stages in the game, so it's to be expected. Little bugs like this. Alright, so there we go. For 4 compound, we'll make the storage container on here. And now, I'm not sure if I can get in the habitat or not. I'm going to find out. Basically, when you print things onto your vehicles with this printer, with the vehicle bay printer, they are permanent. You cannot take them off. So that storage is permanently on my spaceship now. But anything you print with the small printer, you can remove and replace and move on to other things and stuff like that. So that's what we want to do. We want the storage on there, and we want the habitat, and I want to see if I can get in the habitat, whoops, to fly the ship. I just want to get it on, there we go. Otherwise we have to build a seat on the ship, and yeah, so I don't think we can. See, I thought maybe you could, but I don't think you can. Let me see. No, so it doesn't look like you can get in the habitat while it's on the spaceship, so that's good to know. So what I am going to do is actually build a one seat, and like I said, I could build it in the vehicle bay, and it'll print right onto my spaceship, but then I could never ever ever remove that seat again. Because you can build the one seat or print the one seat over at the 3D printer, there's really no reason not to do that. Although, you know what, now that I think about it, this is the wrong one seat. That's okay, now I have an extra one seat. I actually do have to print it on because the one seat that goes in the spaceship, I'll bring this with me, so then I don't have to build another one while I'm there. I can build a vehicle and have a seat already. But the seat that you put on your spaceship, obviously it's going to be a little bit different because it needs to kind of protect you from space, which this does not do. I am not going to be able to get in this and drive away on my spaceship. No, I am not. So I'll bring it with me. That's not the end of the world. And I still have 2 spots. I'll actually have 4 more. So I'll be able to bring, I think, 3 racks of storage with me, which I want to do so I can bring some more resources to kind of give my base a head start on the moon. Alright, so this, again, see, it's not charging. It's kind of annoying, but it's not too hard just to move my battery over here. And it only takes 8 bars, so it only half drains my battery. So it doesn't take long to actually charge up. So wait for that to charge, and we're going to build the one seat. Because I am playing alone, I only need the one seat. I don't need to make a 3 seat, anything like that. So let's go to the one seat. That's going to take up one section like that, you can see there. And we'll print that on. So that's permanent. I'm not going to be able to remove that, but I mean, I need a seat on my rocket anyways for it to work. You can't take off your rocket without a seat on it. So you kind of have to have one of those. So let's start by putting a tray of resin on there. And I think I need 3 more resin to fill that up. Now resin is what you use to expand your base. You can see this module is asking for 2 resin. If I was to do that, it would expand it into these larger modules. But you can't expand from the larger modules. So once it's a large module like that, that's basically the end of the line. So you always want to have some of these smaller ones poking around so that you can continue to extend your base if you want to. Like I said, at one point you're going to end up building everything at this stage of the game anyways, and the only purpose to continue to expand your base is just for fun, to see how big you could actually build it. If you wanted to span the entire planet, you know what? If you wanted to try and go for it, there is really nothing stopping you. Well, there might be some certain limitations that might stop you eventually, but for the most part, there's nothing stopping you. Alright, so we've got the resin on there, and I'm trying to think. I have a spot for 2 more racks. I will need, so we'll kind of mix match a little bit here. I've got a rack that has, well, I've got 3 copper and 3 aluminum. So I'll bring that, no. Is this, oh yeah. Copper, aluminum, 3 copper, 3 aluminum. Yep, I was right. 3 copper, 3 aluminum. We'll bring that over because that way I could build my 3D printer right away. And I don't remember what the aluminum was used for, but it'll come in handy anyways. I should be able to find some aluminum. I think the aluminum was for the vehicle bay now that I think about it. And I think it only takes 2, it might take 4. I really wish I could remember exactly how many it took, but I should be able to find some fairly easily over on the moon. And I do want to bring a rack of compound, a full rack of compound, because we do need lots of compound. Gives lots of compound in the game, and you have to use a lot of compound. So we'll bring a rack of compound, and maybe we'll bring some more. Let's see, yeah, those final 2 spaces on there, I think I'll throw some resin on. Because you do, again, resin you need a good amount of if you want to make your base larger. So we'll bring 2 more resin, and that will ensure that we have lots of resin to kind of get a good starting base set up. Alright, so let's go put that on the spaceship, and then we have to fuel up. Now the problem with this, the only major issue with this glitch is I have the fuel condenser, which basically turns 16 bars of energy into 1 hydrazine, which is your fuel for your spaceship or your shuttle. See, it fills up that basin down there. It's really easy, like if you plan it out right, to always have that thing full if you have 2 storage racks on either side. It's really easy to make sure it's always full. Oh, I can't see. I'm trying to get it up there. The problem with it is... Oh, hold on. Okay, there we go. The problem with it, with this glitch, though, is I have to constantly be moving the battery onto that. It does have its own little solar panel, so it can charge by itself during the day. But you see, now I've got to... And to do all... Like, this whole machine is going to use... To charge it, it's going to use this full battery. So essentially, I have to constantly be swapping out the batteries on that thing, even during the daytime. It won't charge fast enough. I'm going to have to probably go around to the different batteries in my base and drag them over just so I can use this thing. And the batteries themselves also don't seem to fully charge it. It's always like this tiny little unrecognizable piece. See that? How I put that on there? You didn't really see anything happen, but there just wasn't enough juice for some reason. I think that might be a little bit of a bug as well. Something they should look into, because that battery has 16 bars. It should completely fill this. There shouldn't be any issues there. So we'll dump another one in, and we'll fill the ship up. It doesn't have to be completely full. I think it's only going to use... I can't remember the exact amount of fuel that it uses for trips. Basically, it uses fuel to launch into orbit. It uses fuel to travel from one planet to another. And it uses fuel to drop back down to the planet. So that was all of our fuel. We've got lots, so that's going to get us to the moon. And if we have to come back, we'll be able to come back. No problems there whatsoever. Alright, so we've got everything we need now. So let's hop in this spaceship. I think we might have to take the tether off. Let's see. There we go. Take the tether off. Now it should let me in. I'm not sure why it won't let me in. Let's see here. That's weird. I hope... Okay, I'm in. Good. I'm not sure why it was doing that. Usually you should be able to just kind of walk up to it and it'll let you go in, but that's fine. Alright, so we've got our spaceship fully stocked. We've got our fuel tank. Let's launch. So it's going to bring us up into orbit around our planet. And it kind of gets a little wonky here just because of, you know, how space works. We just have to give it a minute till it gets into orbit, and then you press this button and it just kind of shows you the whole system. This white ring, anything in the planets in that ring are the planets that you can travel to. One of my vehicles, an old vehicle or something, wasn't tethered. Anyways, and they do orbit around a star, so eventually these planets do come into orbit. Usually the radiation planet is the smallest one closest to the sun, has a faster orbit, so you can actually use that one to jump around from planets that aren't in range. So you could basically, when that comes in range, I could jump to that planet and then jump again to another planet. But we're going to the moon. The moon is always in range, no matter what. So that's what we're doing. We're going to the moon. Now we are... Yeah, so that uses fuel as well. And we just give that a minute as well. And now it gives us our different landing sites on the moon. And I really don't think it matters at this point. I'm just going to look for one. You can kind of see craters, so I'm going to look for one that doesn't have... This looks like there might only be 2, actually. So we'll just pick this one. Why not? Try to avoid too many big craters because they can be a little bit of a pain to deal with, but it's not the end of the world if we have one nearby. I did land on one of my games. I landed on the moon that was around my planet, and it literally landed me right on the edge of a huge cliff. So that isn't something that you want happening, but it's could be worse, like I've said. Alright, so over there, see, we've already got, I think that might be the copper. So if we need more copper, we've got some of that. I will have to make the smelter as well, which I might have the stuff for. I haven't memorized. You think I've played enough different maps. You think I've memorized the what it takes to build everything, but I still, some of them I forget. And you can see the gravity too is a little lower on the moon, which I thought was kind of cool. Anyways, let's bring our habitat down and we'll find a decent place to set up a base. I'd prefer a flatter area. Well, gee, that won't be too difficult. Let's do it up on top of a bit of a mound, though. That way we should be able to kind of see around a little more. Not that there's anything to see. It should maybe, hopefully, make us easier to find. I'm going to go further away. I think right there is a decent spot. So you put your habitat down, you hit that button, and that plants your habitat. So it's permanent. I can no longer move my habitat. That's alright. So we're going to, and I wanted to try kind of a different style of base while I'm here as well. So the way this is going to work is, instead of the star formation that I had with the other base that you can see, kind of a star, kind of like came out all around it, it was, I'm going to bring the whole rack. It was, I'm going to maybe kind of do a more of a straight out sort of method, just to see. I'm going to try and play around with things. Okay. So this is how you expand. Although it's moving right now. Hold on. Sometimes it does that. I'm not sure why. If you build it, if I get it where I want it and build right away, it won't move too much. There. Now it's going to stay in that one spot. Okay. And we want to build another one coming out. And that's going to be number 2. Now I was thinking, so for this one, I would have it come out straight from one side and then it would kind of branch off from this straight line. So these middle ones would always remain the small versions, and then they would branch off to the bigger ones on either side. And I still have the option to build all the way around my habitat if I want to do that later. And I always have the option to continue building out. And kind of I might be able to sneak out sideways too. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's put this here. And I'm not doing it for any specific reason. More or less just to try something new. And I could put this on here now at least. And I'll put one more on this side, just kind of get myself ready. Okay. So I'm going to expand this. And expand this. Now I want the 3D printer, which is the copper, and the vehicle bay. Oh, I want the smelter as well, which is only compound. So you know what, let's do the vehicle bay first, because I could easily make the smelter. That's no problem whatsoever. So let's grab the storage that has our materials for that on there. Now actually if I do this, oh no, it didn't work. Okay, I guess it only works with the actual item, with the building built, but it didn't work that time. Okay, well where's the aluminum here? Aluminum? No, come back aluminum. Aluminum. Alright, so let the vehicle bay kind of pop itself up. That, we do not want to put resin on that, because then that would kind of cap us off there. And we want the copper. We got some copper here. That's the other aluminum. Where's that copper? There it is. Okay. So we've got the printer, and we've got the vehicle bay, and we have no power. I just remembered that. That's okay. We've got tons of compound. Insane amounts of compound. So we can make some satellites. solar panels. They look like satellites, but that's because satellites are usually full of solar panels. So I guess I could say solar panels satellites look like solar, and never mind. Let's just make these things. Okay, 3D printer is what makes the big ones. But of course with no power, that's not going to work. Actually, you know what I have? I have a battery on my bag. There we go. That will fill 2 things. So, okay, so we're halfway there. If the sun comes out, well, is the sun out now? Yeah. We'll charge my battery and we'll put it back on there. And yeah, because I could, on my other base I had all these open spots here. You can't expand, you can only attach things onto it. Like the battery, like you saw. I was just putting little solar panels on it. So each module had its own individual power as well as the batteries. But that's not really necessary, I kind of just did that for fun. Okay. So there's the big solar panel, that's what we want to build. At least one of them. And that way it's going to continuously power our base during the daytime. And eventually when we get some lithium, we need 2 lithium, we'll put the lithium on as well. Or the battery. We get the lithium, we'll build the battery, and then we'll put the battery on whatever, on the base. Can't find my words today. Okay. So this one, yeah, so it's going to stay as is, and we want a truck, which needs more aluminum. I think that's, like I said, I'm pretty sure that's copper over there. And I'm not entirely opposed to making a rover to start with, just to get the stuff. But I should be able to dash over there and back with lots of time to spare to at least see what this is. Yeah, that's copper. We don't need copper. I want aluminum, which is the pink stuff. It looks pink while it's in the ground. I like the gravity, that's pretty cool. You can tell this place is small too, because you don't have to go very far before the curve of the planet kind of blocks out. I'm almost out of oxygen. I just want to get at the top of this hill. Oh, I don't have anything on me, so that's more copper. Okay. Well, we might have to build a rover first and drive around to find some aluminum to build the truck, but that's fine. I'm not going to complain about that. I like how it's floating. That'll be funny when it actually builds it. Okay, I could have just gone back. I didn't have to go through them all. So we need 4 compound. So we'll put those, and that's the rest of the compound. You know what? I will need the smelters as well. So let's build that first, which I do not have enough resin for. That's alright. Oh, I don't know why that's not how you do it. Okay. So we've got that. I'm 1 resin short. So let's just build the rover. And you see, if I put them in here, it automatically goes up there. Actually, I have them in my bag, so I can just click on it too. We'll build the rover. We'll grab the 1 seat that I've got here. Throw one of my storage things on there as well. Come here, 1 seat. Alright, throw that on there. It'll straighten itself out. Now once that charges, actually what I'm probably on, you know what, I don't have the space for it. Okay. I need my compound too. So I literally have just enough resources for what I'm going to need. If I find some compound and resin, I'm definitely going to grab it while I'm out. Okay, we'll grab one of these empty storage units. I'm so used to having the truck where you can actually hook up two things, like 2 slotted things, like the storage and the satellite, or I keep calling it a satellite, the solar panel on the front, but this one is only a 2 or a single, so you can't do that. I can take my solar panel and put it on there. Okay, so let's do that for now. Let's just take a quick drive I'm gonna see if I can find, what was it? Resin. I need resin and aluminum. Those are the two things we want right now. So let's just take a quick look for those so we can finish up our initial base establishment. And then that'll be it for the day. We'll be out of time shortly. But I want to at least... Oh, don't flip. Don't flip. Oh, yeah, saved it. I want to at least hopefully finish off that bit of my base. There's a lot of copper around here. A lot of copper. You can tell the gravity's really affecting my driving, actually. It's kind of cool. I haven't really driven around on the moon before. So it's kind of a new experience for me. Alright, aluminum, aluminum, aluminum. I could go into a cave as well. Oh, this is so fun. I might just... actually, oh geez, I didn't even realize I'm going to run out of power. I'll have to wait till daylight before I can do anything again. Oh, there's my base. This is actually really fun. Alright, well, you know what, guys? We are going to call it a day. We are out of time. But I did get the base established for the most part. I can always just go back and grab the stuff. I don't actually have any more aluminum there either. I have the resin, but I'm not going back for one piece of resin. So we're going to call it quits for today. But we did get on the moon. That's pretty much all I wanted to do, is at least get the printer. You see that? That's another thing that I think should be fixed. If you have these things, the little ones, on the front, like right here, or if you have them, you know, on the ends of, no, you don't put them on the ends of there. Yeah, so if you have it on there, on the ends of these, on your vehicle, and your vehicle happens to drive past it, because your vehicle wants to tether it, like the little, I'll show you, actually, it's perfect time to show you. So if I turn my vehicle, see that pops up. So if I leave my vehicle and click on that, it connects my vehicle to the rest of my base. The only problem is it also knocks whatever's on there off. So I think maybe they should fix that so that doesn't happen. The kind of ghost image can still pop up, and if you click on it, it removes whatever's attached to it. Otherwise, I don't think they should remove it, because it really just seems like it's going to cause problems. It causes me problems all the time. I don't think I've actually completely lost anything, but you can lose your solar panels. There's some wreckages that you can find while you're exploring that have nodes like that ask if you want to connect. I haven't. I don't know if anything happens, but they ask you to, and it does knock your solar panels off or whatever you've got on there. And if you don't notice it, then you've lost whatever was on there. You could even have items on there. You could have stacks of resources. You could have anything that has a little one node can attach to there. Same with the trucks. That'll lock your two node things off too. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for today. I'm going to just sit in here to save it and leave. So there we go. We got our moon base set up. It's a nice little simple basic moon base. The main purpose of this moon base is going to be gathering lithium and titanium. So eventually we'll get the truck built, and we'll put a big storage on the back of this rover, a drill on the truck, hook the rover up to the truck, and then we can just kind of tow it around and use that to collect everything. But that's like I've said 100 times already, that's all there is for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today on Screaming Alien Gaming. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time.